Okay, here we go. Yes, and hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk briefly about the passing of Pete Boggs, which is very unfortunate, and I'm going to talk about the rules, all right, which is a topic that, I've just had in my head, and so I think it might be interesting, and let's give it a try. All right, here we go.
Somebody help! I'm stuck in quicksand!
You broke it!
I didn't break it, you
broke it!
We need to make this real. We need people to believe this.
Why did you do this? Not a good idea!
You want to see me get messier?
Is there a friendly park ranger somewhere? Hello?
What did we get ourselves into? This is so ridiculous.
Okay, so first I'd like to apologize if there's extra machine noise. I've got pretty much almost everything running here in the office. I'm nearly done with the capture project, which has been going on for, over a year and a half. And I'm trying to squeeze the last of the VHS tapes through the system before the weather turns warm. And I'm not going to want extra machines running. So hopefully I'll be down to just two when it's all said and done. Yeah, the thing with Pete was kind of sad. It hit me a little bit harder than some of the other losses that we've taken in the community. And, I was thinking about making these videos. It was going to be the Three Musketeers. Now it might be, the Three Amigos and now possibly the Four Musketeers. And, back in the day, I don't know, I can't remember, there was like some promo for a radio station, maybe in L.A., they were saying like, okay, well, this isn't a station with music by dead guys. And I was like, well, that was some really good music, a lot of it. And there's been some great stuff in the community. And we've lost some guys. And I will do a tribute to the people that really helped get MPV rolling, if for no other reason, other than the fact that, they were great guys and they contributed some really cool stuff. So I mentioned on the forum at Quicksand Fans that I ended up with some of Pete's original artwork, and first of all, I finally realized that, okay, so here's, I don't know if you can see this, and I'll do photos and scans of these things, but these are actually like two 8.5 by 11 pages side by side. That's the size, and it's like cardstock. And there's actually ledger stuff, and some of them have this blue things. But this particular stack I have here has just some one-off pieces, like individual panels and so on. But mostly what's here, and I know the audio is being affected by this, sorry, are storyboards that Pete took the time to put together for when we were shooting. And I'll just pull one of them up here, and I think some of these are blank, but stuff like this, that he did just to support the video. I mean, these were never going to be published, although I think I may try to see about scanning these, or maybe just taking some decent resolution photographs and doing it that way, kind of a poor man's scanner. I have an 8.5 by 11 scanner, 8.5 by 14 rather, legal size, but these are bigger than that. So I'll figure out a way to share these, and I'll definitely dedicate an episode to Pete, whose real name was Dennis, which is actually out there, Dennis Stahl. Somebody posted his name, so it's not like he's being doxxed or anything. But yeah, he didn't really, well, nobody deserves to go, but man, the guy he had an innocence about him that's kind of hard to describe. And although I'm a little chagrined that I didn't stay in continuous touch with him, I'm glad that I was talking to him a little bit right near the end there. So, all right, so we're gonna move on to the rules, and I don't know what I'm gonna use, but I'll just have some graphics up here because I don't need my fat butt on here. And it was just the muse kind of hit me today. It's a Thursday. I get pretty jammed up on Thursdays and Fridays, but I just thought, well, you know what? I just feel like I'm going to do this. There's rain on the way. I might go home early today. Who knows? We'll see. So the rules for video producing, these were told to me, and it's a very short but meaningful list given to me by the guy who mentored me back in 1998. And rule number 1, don't touch the models. Okay? Just don't touch them. There were a few times, I think once the biggest touch I had in the Philippines, I think May needed to get across the river. She was already wearing these like white stockings or nylons or whatever they were, and she needed to start on the other side of the river. So she got on my back, and I walked across the river, and that's not really, I don't know if that's a touch. And then I wasn't touching her with my hands. And then I think, there were a couple maybe like a little wardrobe things here and there, but we get the general idea. Just keep your hands. Oh, that was freaking loud. I don't know if that didn't go through the microphone, just my headphones. And then number 2, which goes with number 1, is don't put yourself in a scene. And when I was told that, I didn't quite get it. I was like, don't put yourself in a scene. I was like, well, what the hell is that? And I didn't quite get it because until I saw somebody else do it. And so there they were in the scene and had their hands on the models and pushing her down or doing whatever. And I thought, oh, okay, I get it now. It's like, because you're going to end up, it's just not cool. I mean, it's just an excuse really to be part of it and to, I don't know, I'm not going to say like going to completely get your rocks off, but it's inappropriate, and it will lead to things that will keep you from continuing what you wanted to do in the first place. And that kind of gets me to, if you want to understand the essence of rule number 1 and number 2, don't touch, don't put yourself in a scene. I was having a conversation, and I think it was with David Brand, and the subject came up of like, are you going to stoop this person, or they want this or that? And, is he going to like violate a rule? And not that we were talking about the rules at the time. And he said, no, because I might want to work with her again. And I thought, okay, well, yeah, right. And it really, and then I thought about that, kind of rolled around in my head a little bit, and I thought that does put the whole concept into focus. It's not that, you're not allowed to, it's not, you're not breaking any laws, but it's just this whole idea of, remaining, having that professional detachment. And so if you're thinking about doing this, if you're going to go out and try to get some work done, and you're thinking like, oh, well, what if this and that, just don't. Just rule it out from the beginning. Now, for me, there's all this intimidation. The words casual sex, just those two words don't go together for me. They just don't. And so it was never going to be a problem for me. And there were episodes that lots of balls got dropped. Some of them pretty hard, some of them pretty big. And I will say real quickly, and I don't want to labor on this, but if a gal or model or whoever makes themselves available and you turn it down, no matter how politely or how discreetly or whatever it is, what I have noticed is that proportional to the effort on their part, when you don't accept or partake or whatever it is, they can get pretty nasty. You're talking about a woman scorned and so on, and that may not 100% apply to the situation, but I've had some fallout from situations like that I didn't bring it upon myself, and yet here is this nastiness coming in days following a shoot where, okay, I didn't go for it, and well, what the hell, I mean, I'm not supposed to, and I was either married or involved at every stage during this shooting career, and and I'll just I'll get on my little rant here for a second. These are the same people that would just have a shit fit if their boyfriend or husband or whatever it was cheated on them, and yet they're going for it with a guy that is involved. So I didn't feel bad about it, and so just be ready if that happens, and there may be some a bad aftertaste. But it's worth it. It's just stay professional. Don't put yourself in a scene. All right. And rule number 3: everybody has a job, and that just means that you don't have any hangers on. Anybody just hanging around watching and shit. If you have anybody on the set, particularly a guy, they have to have a job. Oh, why is he here? Well, I mean, and you will be asked, because they don't like that. It's just a bad scene. Well, he's going to handle the reflector, or he's this, or whatever. Everybody has to have a job, or just keep them the hell out. It's now. I'll have to say that there are situations where people have gatherings where there's going to be known spectators or known people shooting home video or personal video and stuff like that. As long as that is understood well up front, before people arrive, even before they even start to travel, then that's fine. So, and then I had a little note here. The code, which doesn't really apply anymore because I saw it kind of going away over the course of our shooting career. We started back in the day of VHS tape, and shooting was a big deal because, first of all, everything was expensive. Cameras were expensive. Locations were tricky, especially if you were working outdoors, and so on. And the hookups, the hirings, were generally done by word of mouth. And I kind of went over that a little bit. We had alpha models helping us out, and so on. But back in those days, if things, like I said, it took a lot to put something on, and it took a lot to get things to market. But just the code was, if you canceled on somebody on short notice, or God forbid didn't show up, that was it. You weren't gonna, that model wasn't gonna work with you anymore, or she wasn't gonna try to work with you if you canceled. So there was this thing. Now, if a cancellation happened, and you had time to recover for it, or and we had one, and Amy Lane came to us that way because somebody couldn't make it, found out at the last minute, and sent somebody else instead. That's cool. That's the code. That was that was just the way things happen. And then over time, models, and not through any fault of their own. It's just how life is, and things change. Working for outside producers became less important over time because there was Live Jasmine or whatever it was. Now there's All My Fans or OnlyFans, whatever, and other venues and things that they can self-produce. And so cheesing off a producer or photographer doesn't carry the weight that it used to. And I can only imagine how much more interesting, I'm not going to use the word difficult, but interesting it would be to hire models now, especially if you're going to ask them to work outdoors. But on the other hand, the information that's out there, the access, in terms of people like, well, maybe these gals want to work outdoors, or maybe they want, that sort of adventure, so maybe it's not all that bad. I don't know. Maybe somebody can provide some feedback, or, I don't have skin in the game anymore in terms of shooting, so I really wouldn't know. But it's just not the same. That's for damn sure. And so that's pretty much it. Those are the rules, and I, through no fault of my own, because like I said, I'm just utterly intimidated physically by attractive women, and cameras were always handy to place in between me and them. Worked out pretty well over the years. So. But if you want to work with that gal again, follow the rules. Okay. If you want to stay in this for any stretch of time, follow the rules. They will serve you well. All right. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope it was, I don't know, it just is what it is, but something you don't really think about until you get examples of it. And, you might want to work with that model again. Yeah, who knows? All right. Take care, and hopefully not so long until the next one. All right. Bye-bye.